Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me at this time at night. Today, we're going to be discussing a very important topic that is related to all human beings. It is considered your body's clock, and it is called the circadian rhythm. And I'm going to show you some pictures along with a brief description to what the circadian rhythm is, along with effects and some solutions that we can do in regards to it. So here is a picture of the circadian rhythm, which, like I mentioned, it is considered like your internal clock. Have you ever wondered why in the daytime you feel awake and at the nighttime you feel sleepy? There's a specific reason for that. And it is because there is a clock within us that tells us when to be awake and when to be asleep. Now, if you look at here at the slide, you'll see that human inside the little bubble, that's technically us, and as an example. And it shows you, as you follow the clock, how our body regulates itself during the daytime as well as nighttime. And that is a rhythm that we all humans have within ourselves. But what is the circadian rhythm? The circadian rhythm, like I've mentioned, is like our natural clock, but for humans. It tells us when to be awake and when to go to sleep. According to the National Library of Medicine, it's a 24-hour clock in your brain that responds to light changes. So, for example, when the sun is out, your body feels that ultimately, like if you have your blinds open or you're stepping outside and it sees the light, it automatically knows that it is meant to be awake. Whereas when it's dark, it knows that you are supposed to be sleeping. Okay. Now, what it does really, it just helps us to adjust to day and night, ultimately. Now, how does the circadian rhythm affects us? So it's a very crucial part of humans. As you can see here in this diagram, when the circadian rhythm affects multiple areas of your body. So it affects your sleep, which is the major, it affects your metabolism, your microbiota, cancer, aging, and in regards to your heart. And if you pay attention, when you're not really sleeping accordingly, like I mentioned in the first, or I showed here in this first picture, it recommends us to be asleep before or around midnight so that we are in our deepest sleep around 2 o'clock, so that we're having a regular rhythm. When we don't have a regular sleeping rhythm, our circadian rhythm gets affected. And that also affects many areas in our life. Our sleep is affected. As you can see, as poor sleep can cause depression, bipolar disorder, Alzheimer's. For metabolism, it can cause obesity, type 2 diabetes, fatty liver disease, increased body weight. It reduces lifespan, age-related marks like, what's the word I'm looking for? Can you guys say the word I'm looking for? Oh, wrinkles. It affects your heart. It affects really all of you, how you feel. I even read, and I believe it was in the National Library of Medicine as well, how it's hard to stay awake when your rhythm is affected. You get tired during the day. You feel sleepy. You struggle with focus ultimately during your daytime. Here's a picture of basically how the circadian rhythm is affected by light. So if you notice, during the daytime, our body and our mind is really focused on the high awareness. So it starts focusing, and that's when we get most of our work. And then towards the nighttime, it starts dropping awareness. That's when you start basically calming down, ready, going to sleep. But like I mentioned, when your circadian rhythm is not like it's supposed to, you really won't feel the effects of a healthy circadian rhythm, meaning that where you're supposed to have high awareness, you can potentially have drop in awareness, which can cause a lot of issues with work, with school, with just your overall life. So that is some information about the circadian rhythm. Sharkola here is sharing some information as well. She wants to be our model here. In conclusion, circadian rhythm is like your body's clock that tells you when to be awake or asleep. It affects your daily life and can influence by light. Understanding this can help you have a healthier and more alert life. So thank you again for joining me. I really appreciate you being here, disturbing your circadian rhythm. But nonetheless, I am grateful. And that is all. Thank you again.